They ask me, are we registered in Nairobi? Are we registered in Seme? Where are we? So you find all this confusion. And they are aware, but they don't care. So some of these things we must legislate. The country speaks through legislation, not spending money on radios and TVs telling, go and register, go and, some of them you tell them, go and have it. Even IDs, if it was not required by law that you need it, some people will not go for it. So let us innovate in terms of legislation, and we will save this country billions of shillings that are being wasted in this process.
All right, Senator,
building on the same points, please, before I lose the train of thought, it's actually a valid point that is made. What stops our ID from also being the voter ID? You know, once you're a Kenyan, you can walk into a station and just vote. What stops our voter, our national identity card from also being the voter ID? So
that's that down to the legislators, maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's what I'm saying. Building on the same point, I've heard this about Kenyans having a smart card, which means that you put in every form of details in that smart card. But then also in terms of voters, sorry, Mike, I'm going to divert you a little. We have to also flag it that this weekend on Friday there were two small by-elections. In significance, they looked like wards, but in terms of impact, or the positioning, even in the media, and even by virtue of how these two by-elections were fought, Mike, I'm sorry, I want to just be relevant. It demonstrates that Jubilee is losing ground. They went in their litany to fight Governor Isaac Ruto, and I want to congratulate him. He won, not only won, but won convincingly. Despite the machinations in Masongaleni, Ukambani, Wiper, put its foot, reasserted its foothold on Ukambani. So what we're asking our voters to come do is to come out in large numbers and show equal commitment now when it comes to the election. Because if we do this, then it demonstrates that this is a cat we can actually skin, and overcome by the next election. In fact, it has shown a weak underbelly. And I'm confident they're losing Kericho. I'm confident they're also losing Malindi. So all these matters, Kenya is evolving, and people are just getting fed up with the kind of rhetoric, committing the countries into sideshows indefinitely, so that we move the country forward.
All right, going back to the conversation, Honorable Gosing, in comparison to 2013, do you think IEBC has learned lessons, and what lessons maybe should they have learned by now that we should ensure we have a better voter registration and civil education?
I think about Mike is that yes, they have learned lessons. They're human beings. They have learned lessons, and that's why maybe now they're even starting to prepare at the moment. And I'll say they're modestly prepared. Somebody said about 60%. I'll say about 70% prepared. That they want to start, and they're doing it, Mike, under very difficult circumstances of resources. Because of limited resources here and there. We are having devolved systems, we are having money going to the ground, and we are trying to tell them, okay, you do this, you do that, and they're trying. But I think above all, what we have seen, Mike, which I want to mention, and it will not escape our mind, is that now people are trying to politicize. And I'm wondering what's wrong with CORD, CORD this time should come together with Jubilee in terms of legislators and leaders. And they say, do what? Let's work together. Now they are preparing to say, you know what? The kids have been given more in the Jubilee side. We have not been given. This is rigging and so on. And what we are seeing as we develop is that CORD is trying to justify a lose in 2017. They are very clear they are losing, and that's the truth. So they want to say, oh, you know what? We lost because there were no BVRs in our places. They were not this, they were not this. Oh, we are losing, and so on. Everywhere they are going, they are preparing the minds of their own people. I think I want to ask them very honestly and say, look, you know what? Let's go back together. Let's work together, as a lawyer said. Let's look for the money for IEBC. And there's somebody taking the election, the by-election recently. Of course, CORD are celebrating. And that is a very short celebration. But I want to tell you this, Mike. What happened even in Bomet? They were even using the name of the deputy president to actually win and saying, you know what, we're only looking at the ward, we are not looking at national, nobody's talking about deputy president, nobody's talking about president. No, we are not even there. Please, because they were asking, the people down there on the ground are asking, what is this going on? Are you against the deputy president? Are you against the president? They say, no, we are not even touching that. The seat of the deputy president and the president are very safe. Please, we are only looking there. These guys know that Jubilee is very strong. They even used Jubilee to win. We will win Kilifi, we will win Kericho squarely.
They say the proof
will show you that.
Time will tell.
Of course, they are using Jubilee to win.
There was a fallacy, the term coined by Kinaweda last time, the so-called tyranny of numbers. There's a big fallacy. The numbers won't just add up for Jubilee this time, and you can be sure CORD this time will win hands down for this reason. The reason you hear talking about kits is that if you go to Coast Province, registered voters as per 2013 were less than 50% across the board. So if you give them same number of kits as you give in Central Kenya or Eastern Kenya, then you disadvantage them because there are more people not registered down there than there are in any part of the country. Same happens in Nyanza, same happens in Western. The number of persons not registered in Western Kenya are more than the people not registered. And this bears is borne out by the figures you're getting from the Registration Bureau. If you look at the figures, people have registered between 2013 and now all over the country, then it should help you to give the coefficient of distributing the kits based on the numbers you're expecting to be registered, not kilometers only in terms of distances.
But again, also, Mike,
and so at the end of the day,
hold on, let him
Mike,
finish.
there's something important.
Let him finish.
What you should be concerned about, and this I can tell you for sure, is that it shouldn't be about Jubilee or CORD. It should be about every Kenyan who feels or wants to register as a voter must have that right to register as a voter, regardless of whether they're going to vote for who or who.
Now we are together.
I think that's where we should
question,
start.
Honorable Ching, would be, given that is the notion, is it possible for the opposition and the government to come together and ensure that is done?
Yes,
because
I think
it is in the hands of the legislators.
Yes, I think we've done
come
so.
up with those.
I think we've done so because, and this without blowing a trumpet, this anybody can tell you when IEBC was going to get 0 shillings, some of us went out of our way to ensure that they got some money. What they now got, the other billion they got, was actually gotten out of an effort of maybe me and somebody else, just 2-3 of us, to ensure that IEBC has money. So the issue of IEBC having money isn't an issue of CORD or Jubilee. No. All of us are agreed that they need to have resources to make them move. So the main problem normally, Mike, comes out when people start thinking that probably there are some games being played to disenfranchise people from registering. That's where the problem is coming. And I told you the reason is that IEBC doesn't come out early with information that the Kenyans need. Kenyans will not trust IEBC if before IEBC gives information, there's already word out there speculating on how they want to do things. Okay. That is a major handicap that IEBC has that I think we need to address. But as I finish off on this issue, I think I want to also request fellow politicians that this is a time all of us to come together, ask people to vote. I'm asking people to register as voters because, I mean, who told you that it's only CORD and Jubilee who can be president or deputy president in this country? There could be another person who wants to be president. So I think the main thing is let everyone who wants to participate in the process participate in the process so that when the time comes, you're able to vote for whoever you want. Okay. I think that's very
I think let me, Mheshimiwa, the lesson that is coming up in Kericho and in Ukambani actually shows that our Jubilee coalition, that people are angry. There's something people are angry about, which we need to look at. Let us not chest thumb. It is humbling what happened in Kericho, and it will be more humbling and devastating in Bomet. So let us not chest thumb. And the message we are sending to His Excellency the President is that there's a part where people are angry, and we need to address it. In terms of registration, I would urge our people to come out and register this thing of CORD will win, CORD will do that. When the time comes, we will see who wins. And we are also registering to ensure that it is round 1 victory. But for now, it's about making institutions, allowing IEBC to register people again in December, because some people are in school, they will not go out to register unless you take these things to institutions. So again in December, then we get funds to have continuous voter registration. We want a fairness where when you are defeated, when CORD is defeated, as they will be defeated, they have no excuses other than the usual propaganda. But not that, oh, our people are not registered, our people are denied this chance. No. Correct. I think fairness that makes and brings unity in this country.
Okay. But there's this pertinent point that you made, apart from the other one, which is neither here or nor there, the one that it's actually in the hands of legislature. Ochieng, we did make a resolution in the CORD meeting that you now proceed to Parliament, because I have also had my majority leader speak about it in Duale, and look for this money and pass an appropriations bill or a supplementary budget so that you fund the IEBC to do this year of registration, this month of registration, and continuous voter registration, so that we are in full capacity. Okay. You know, and that's bottom line. I think that we need. And then just one pertinent point. You know, William Ruto, not William Ruto, Gideon Moi and Isaac Ruto are not supporting the DP they want to take away the mantle of Rift Valley from the DP. I don't know which Rift Valley he lives in, because I can tell you the Rift Valley that we know. You can't come from Coast and tell me Rift Valley. The Rift Valley that we know and the Rift Valley that we hear of, and what I heard even Gideon Moi saying yesterday, is that he's gearing himself for the presidency. So it's not. This is a battle of who the hearts and minds of the the good people of Rift Valley. So let
parts of Rift Valley.
Let ourselves not delude ourselves that these by-elections are insignificant.
Okay.
If they had won, you will have seen the significance.
Okay. Well, we still have a few more coming up, and of course, like I said, the proof is in the pudding, so time will tell. But let's also look at the region, and maybe let me come to you, Honorable Kosing, in regards to Uganda. Your take on how things are going, and maybe just your comments on the elections that are coming up.
Of course, Uganda is my neighbor in terms of Pokot, is neighbor to Uganda. So we have a big stake. And what I'm seeing is that, and I will tell you this, on the ground, Museveni is winning squarely, very early in the morning. So I think that's very clear. And why? Because for us who are pastoralists, there's been a lot of conflict between the Pokot and Karamoja for a very long time, cat wrestling and so on and so forth. But let me tell you, Mike, and that's why even we are using those examples which Museveni did to be able to even ask on our side and say, look, whatever Museveni did, what do we do on this side? Museveni has cleared the whole of this belt, the conflict belt. Everybody is now happy. Everybody, you can cross to Uganda and go anywhere without any problem. In terms of conflict, you can even graze your animals there.
All right.
So there are a lot of things which Museveni has done, and he's winning squarely. No, this cannot escape my mind as a politician. What my brother is saying.
Very briefly, because we're winding up, we need to finish.
You know what our brothers here are crying about Rift Valley and saying which Rift Valley I come from. Nobody from Coast can come and lecture me in Rift Valley. I will tell you, the support of the deputy president is unshakable. I will tell you this. And you believe in 2017? Very early in the morning.
Well, the results of Bomet showed different. But anyway,
Kosing is my friend. And we've made laws in this country, and we also, as a country, are members to a number of treaties. It is bad for any member of parliament or any leader in this country to take sides in the Ugandan elections. It's the wrong thing. I've seen the DP going there to campaign with Museveni. I haven't seen MPs going to campaign for Museveni in Uganda.
But we've also had the opposition invite,
yes.
And with the BCJ.
No, let me just make my point. It's the wrong thing. We are parties to the EAC treaty. Okay? We are parties to the AU treaty. And it's clear there we need to be neutral. So what happens in case something happens in Uganda? Who then goes there to help them if you've really taken sides? It's a wrong thing to do. I think what you can do for Uganda is to wish them the best and hope that they have a free and fair election. But as Kenyans, I think we want to save ourselves from taking sides on what's happening in Uganda. For me, that's very important. But back to this issue of politics, I think we need to tone down on that, because if Jubilee is going to keep saying what they're saying, Jubilee has lost Somali. Jubilee has lost the small words they got in the coast. Jubilee has lost Kisi. Jubilee has lost Masai. Where are they going to get these numbers? They're going to lose day one.
Winding up.
Anyway, I think what's happening in Uganda, what's happening in Uganda as compared to what has happened in Tanzania, there is hope for democracy germinating in some of these countries. I think we are seeing the last of Mheshimiwa Museveni. I know he will win with some genuine votes and some stolen votes. That is guaranteed. But for Africa and East Africa coming up in terms of democracy, I said here before, there was hope in Tanzania. You saw it. Somehow they stole themselves, but there is hope, and in Uganda also. But I trust that Museveni, this should be the last. He should just go and retire. It's too much.
Senator Omar Hassan.
I mean, it doesn't need a genius to know who's winning Museveni. Ugandan election. Museveni has been a dominant figure in Ugandan politics. Museveni is the state. The state is NRM. I think a very, very bad and hostile precedents for democracy.
Okay.
It's important that we hope that Uganda can now encourage itself, similar to what happened in Tanzania, so that we can have an opposition that is viable and can put government on check. The excesses of Museveni are untenable in the long term.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll have to wind it up right there because of time. And that's Senator Omar Hassan, who is Senator Mombasa County, also the SecGen for Wiper Party. We also have Honorable David Kosing, MP Pokot South, Honorable David Ochieng, MP Ugenya, and last but not least, Ambrose Weda, who is a lawyer. And that's the way it is.